Welcome back, everybody. Today I want to revisit Vero engineering. I did a full review and takedown of the Vero engineering Impulse, which I enjoyed very much and still have laying around, actually. And talked about Joseph's pry tool, the Fulcrum, which also doubles as the takedown tools, the bits that you need that go into the end of the tool to take down the Impulse. And I did a breakdown video of this. So we'll set that off to the side. But today, I want to talk about his second knife. Now the Impulse, if you haven't seen it, I will put a link down in the description to the video of this. This was the first knife that Joseph Vero ever designed and manufactured and put together. Maybe not this exact specific one, but this model Impulse is the first knife that Joseph ever put together. And I will link to this video down in the description so you can get a little more detail about that. This is his second knife that he put together and built. This is the prototype. This one was not a prototype. This particular one is a prototype, as seen here on his little card that comes with it. So as we review this and we talk about it, you may see some imperfections. This particular knife has been kind of traveling around between different reviewers and different people to kind of get the word out. So it's, not pristine in the form that you would get it if you were to buy one. Now these are all sold out at the moment. Pre-orders sold out within a matter of hours from what I understand, and are shipping in June. I just got done talking to Joseph just a few minutes ago, and he says he will have some additional ones extra left over from the pre-orders that people can order and buy in June when they start to ship. So there are some refinements. Again, this is a prototype, so there are some refinements in the final product, but we'll talk about that as we go. So let's dive right into it. Close length is 4 1/8. So these are on the smaller side for sure, and almost too small for me, but I had to check one out. These are flippers, even though you see no flipper tab. There is a flipper tab here on the top. So you just literally pull straight back and it fires out. So the overall length is 7 1/4, just a hair bigger, 7 1/4 plus, I guess you could call it. The blade length is 3.22. And again, how I measure is from the farthest edge of the scale out to the tip. Because really, do I care how much of the blade is back in the handles? No. What I care about is how long it is here that I can see it and use it. So the edge length on this is right at 3 inches. These are out of M390, great steel. Overall thickness of the blade is 0.13, and it weighs in at 3.6 ounces. This does have red G10 and titanium. So it's a titanium frame with red G10 with an overall thickness of 0.55 inches, and it runs on some caged bearings. So this is it's a bolster lock, I guess you would call it. It's a frame lock, but it's kind of hidden behind the bolster or the G10. So it's kind of a frame lock, kind of a bolster lock, I guess you could call it. Great design. Really feels good in the hand, even for my bigger hands. There's a little hot spot on this part of the clip, the tip of the clip, but not bad. You can feel it, that's all. And I will say, a list of a couple of things that are being refined is the Detent Ramp. He is refining the geometry of the flipper tab, which is good. And you can see on this one, So on the Impulse, it does kind of flare out towards the back side a little bit, whereas on the Synapse, it just goes straight up. I think I don't know if that's the change he's making, but this one on the Impulse, I mean, that's very little pressure and it comes out. If I moved my finger out of the way, it would have fired with just that little bit of pressure. And this Impulse is running really smooth because I did take it apart and clean it all up and lube it up and whatnot. So this one, the geometry is not perfect, but again, it's a prototype. So the final product will be more refined. The other cool thing about these, and he did it on purpose, Joseph did, is he wanted a clean blade. Meaning, he didn't want a thumb stud, he didn't want a spidey hole, anything like that. But for us guys, or you guys that do like to finger flick, you can, because there is a little fuller on the back side. So he is changing the size of the fuller in the final versions. I don't know if it will be, I don't know what he's changing exactly, but you can see on the back of the Impulse, it's a little bit bigger perhaps. But it works great. The other thing that he is changing a little bit is the height and the clearance of the pocket clip. I will say, and I did say this on my other video about the Impulse, this little notch there kind of grabs the seam or the hem of your pocket. And for me, on my jeans, it grabs a little bit. So as I go to pull it out, it kind of hangs up on the seam of my pocket before it comes out. So he is looking at the production versions will be a little more refined on the clip. Other than that, it's a really nice belt satin on the blade. And I really like this blade shape. I am a Tonto guy, but I actually kind of like the blade shape on the Synapse a bit better than the Tonto on the Impulse. And I believe the Impulse did come in a drop point also. The particular one that, excuse me, they sent me was the Tonto. So beggars can't be choosy, right? But they did a really nice job on the blade. It's not the sharpest thing, but again, it's a prototype and it has been shipped around the country and God knows what people do with it. It's like a rental car, right? You never know. Even with being shipped around and used and abused, it runs great. I am going to take this apart. The blade is a little off center. It could definitely use some cleaning up and re-lubricating, I am sure, just based on how it's running. So I will do that video probably tomorrow. So keep your eye out for that. But let's give you a couple of size comparisons here with things that you may be more familiar with, such as the Chris Reeve Large Sabenza 21. I'll move some of the stuff out of the way here too, because I don't know why I've got so much stuff laying around on the table. So it is a small knife. There is no question about it. Todd Big Fieldcraft Field Marshal, Steelcraft Field Marshal, which is on the larger side for sure, no question there, right? And since I still have this laying around here, the Civivi Asticus. Remember, this is a giveaway knife. Once I hit 400 subscribers, I have another one brand new in the box here that I will be giving away. So keep subscribing and whatnot. And if we want to talk about a big knife compared to, why not? Let's pull out a Medford Arctica. Kind of dwarfs the Synapse, but the Synapse is a really nice knife. It fits well in the hand. This is going to be a great EDC for an office person, Somebody with smaller hands. You know, just all around a great knife. And I am partial to this red G10. I kind of like this colorway for sure. So even though I am a bigger knife type of guy, I could see maybe picking one of these up in June when they are available, because I missed out on the pre-orders because I didn't really know much about Vero until after the pre-orders were all sold out. So they do come with this, you know, nice logoed zipper pouch and a microfiber cloth. This particular one has purple on it. I think my one that came with the Impulse is just gray, but they've got a variety of things, so definitely check them out. I will put a link to the Vero website down in the description as well. So let me know what you think. If you've got an Impulse, let me know how you like it after running it for a while. I would love to hear your comments, and please stay tuned for the teardown of the Synapse here in a day or so. And I appreciate you watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.